And Tilly here again, rightfully so. I was being distracted by watching the time because my time ran out. To continue, I will cut out the leather that I want for the actual bracelet with the same template that I used for my tooling leather. And then with this handy dandy, and now I won't be able to read it through the camera, EcoFlow is what I decided to use. And believe me, it says it's made for leather. It's a great glue. Now you can get this at Tandy also. If you can get it anywhere else, I have no clue, because that's where I bought mine, and I bought it in great big huge bottles and kept this little bottle and just refill it. This is great glue, really great glue. I craft with it all the time, not just on leathers, but on everything that I need white glue. And it also glues the finding. Let me break this apart. It also glues the finding on it. I mean, you've got to get, I can't tell you how much trouble you have to go to if this is on incorrect, what you have to shove down in there and keep cutting away and cutting away and cutting away to try to get this off. It is merely done with this glue. And like I say, it's EcoFlow, and I bought it at Tandy Leather. I'm sure you can get it online. What you will do with this glue is you have your tooling leather, you have the piece of leather that you want to use as your, as your fine leather that you want people to see. You will merely glue on here. You will put the fine leather, sandwich it on. You'll weight it down just a little bit. That's what I did. Weight it down just a little bit, and you'll put it aside. I let mine dry overnight. After that, then you will start cutting, and you'll start cutting your leather pieces to the width that you have decided you want, and the width determined by the findings that you're able to find, and we'll talk about that also. So see, there are different widths that I used, depending upon the findings and what I needed, what the width was I needed to fit into the findings themselves. I will show you those two. That's another thing that she doesn't, she talks about the findings once you've got them cut, and like I say, that's another thing where I use this and my guide to cut these strips to the right width. And then once they are cut to the right width, there still is sometimes some fine tuning that you need to do along the sides so that it is smooth and pretty at the sides. And believe me, I thought maybe they might be a little scratchy or stiff, a little difficult to wear, and they are not. I don't care whether it's the small one or the large one. They're very comfortable on the wrist. And this just helps make a fine finish at the side. I got this tool also at Tandy Leather, and always keep my my blades. plenty of blades, so that I am not fighting it, because I do want it to come out nice, and I don't want snagging when I start to finish these. Then you've got to consider your findings, and that's, I went upstairs on the computer. She talked about findings and said you can get them anywhere. Well, you kind of can't. I had a tremendous amount of trouble, and I went online to read, and there were very many notes underneath the story, or the tutorial that she had, all of them complaining about the same thing, that they were not able to find the findings. Now, you used to be able to buy them from her on her site, but that is it. Dewdrops. I think I mentioned it in my last video. Dewdrops design. You used to be able to buy findings from her, but they were quite expensive for each bracelet, and so you could run into an awfully big cost. I went online. I went to eBay. I found some stores. There's Fairy House. That's FAIRYHOUSE 38. And another place was Findings Crown, FINDINGS CROWN. Now these companies, most of them are in China. Most of the findings are in a Tibetan silver. You can get them. The price is very good if you order in bulk. We have several sizes. That's one thing you have to watch when you're online. You have to be very careful at what size you're getting, because you're going to want your leather cut to the size that you need to fit into your little. What have I got in my hand? Seeing through this camera for old eyes is not. There we go. This hole is going to have a lot to do with the size of your bracelet, and so you're going to have to watch very close on when you're buying online to see if it's the size that you want for the bracelet that you want. That was something that the lack of information on the size of the tooling leather and the problems with finding the findings the closures for the bracelets were the two things that were really the most difficult. And I did find several. I found several that are from these places, and there are others on eBay also. I found several small, much smaller magnet that are nice for ladies with that have difficulty with their hands. And then these actually, I can put, as clumsy as I am, I can put this on and take it off without my husband's help with one hand. So, you learn to do it, and it's not as hard as it seems. So those were two good ones that I found, well, three good ones that I found, and those were two sites that I found on eBay where you can get the findings. Then the only thing left, I think, really is to tell you about finishing them off. And I hope I have enough time left to do that. You see, this is not finished off. I chose not to do it. I left the tooling leather and the leather to show. On this one, I decided to go ahead and finish it off. And that is just with an edging die. And that also is at Tandy's, and you use that after you've put the whole thing together. Then there are little you can decide how you want to do it. A tiny paintbrush. They also have these that you dip in and then skirt around. Just be careful that you don't make a mess, but you just skirt around the outside, and it kind of gives a finished look. So it really all depended. Now I'm running out of time again. I am going to take a look at these before I put them on to see if they make any sense at all. If not, I'll be retaping, and this will be put on tonight or tomorrow regardless. This is Tilly signing off, and thank all of you for listening to these tapes. I hope you got something out of them. Bye-bye now.